25 players in 55 seconds. But the race for the NL Central is heating up. Cardinals are one game behind Cincinnati in the standings, and they'll host the Milwaukee Brewers for a quick two-game set starting tonight. The battle at Busch this evening features some of the best hitters in the game. Albert Pujols, fresh off his 30th home run, has the NL's second highest batting average in August. Number one, that would be Milwaukee's Ryan Braun, who has 6 hits in his last 2 games. Matt Holliday, Prince Fielder, Colby Rasmus, Casey McGee, some of the other big bats on display at Busch tonight. On the mound, the Redbirds look to rookie Jaime Garcia, who just picked up win number 10 and has been lights out against the Milwaukee Brewers this year. The Cardinals won't rest until they get back to the postseason. The Brewers won't quit until they've spoiled the fun. Baseball coming up next on Fox Sports Midwest. Bennett by Budweiser. With full flavor and a crisp, clean finish, it's what we do. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. By Steak and Shake, life needs flavor. And by Chevy's Expert Auto Service. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. Ball game tonight is broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. Welcome into our ball game here in St. Louis, and we can't thank you enough for what you do for us. Let's take a look at the Milwaukee lineup, and this is a team that can hit. They've come alive here in the month of August. Ricky Weeks has been terrific against the Cardinals this year. Then Corey Hart and Brian Braun, Prince Fielder, Casey McGee, Lorenzo Cain, Alcides Escobar, Jonathan LaCroix, and then their pitcher Dave Bush. Their Redbird starter tonight, presented by Marshall Wireless Sprint, is the youngster, the lefty, Jaime Garcia.
He's been outstanding in his rookie season. He's also 2-0 with a 1.42 ERA when facing Milwaukee.
And keep an eye on Ricky Weeks. Boy, he has been outstanding this year in that leadoff spot the entire season, but especially against St. Louis.
And he's got 23 home runs, 72 RBIs as a leadoff man.
Yeah.
But over 130 strikeouts.
And a leadoff man, you want to see that high on base percentage, but he'll sacrifice some of that for his power. See his on base percentage at .372. And there's a look at Ken Maka in his second season with the Brewers.
And Dan, you and I were talking, this is a very good offensive club Milwaukee possesses. So they can score runs, and they've actually scored the most runs in the National League on the road.
This is low and away, 3 balls and 1 strike.
The thing about Jaime is probably if you really looked at any of his stats, the only thing that you'd say really needs improvement is walks and the ability to button his shirt.
79 degrees. Very comfortable here tonight at the ballpark.
Brought a jacket, didn't you?
Absolutely. Feels cool after all that hot weather we've had here in the Midwest.
Well, I saw where it's going to be 94, 95 Thursday and Friday, so enjoy this little cold snap.
Brewers began the season at home 4-14, and really they just have not recovered from that 8-game losing streak that they also had earlier this season. And Garcia comes back to get the strikeout. Defense is Holiday, Jay, and Craig in the outfield. Lopez, Ryan, Schumacher, and Pujols along the infield. And our battery tonight is Jaime Garcia, Yadier Molina. That's presented by Dobbs. So John Jay gets the start in center. Colby Rasmus saying before the game he'll probably miss these 2 days, dealing with a calf issue. There's that tailing action to a right-hander and strike 1.
What a roller coaster ride for Corey Hart this season. An all-star, but remember all through spring training, they tried to get rid of him, then at the beginning of the season he was benched, but then he came on with gangbusters, and you felt like they were still trying to shop him around, and they turned around and signed him to a multi-year contract.
Right. 0-2 pitch. Milwaukee leads the league with 78 runs and 147 hits this month. They've got some thunder in the middle of this lineup. When you talk about Hart, Braun, Fielder, McGee, reaching for it and pulls it foul.
The first 5 guys are probably going to end up with 20-plus home runs, several of them over 30.
There's Ryan Braun, who's on the year hitting close to 300. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the night for Garcia. Pretty nasty pitch.
Well, he's got to keep that ball down. Then he's got that late movement on it. But if you can get guys to swing at pitches out there, look at how that just tailing action down and away. If hitters are swinging at that pitch, he is going to have a lot of fun tonight.
And here is Ryan Braun.
Ryan Braun's numbers, only 16 home runs. He may have troubles getting to 30 this season.
Pujols has 30 home runs for the 10th straight season to begin his career. Best all time. And there are only 2 players in history that have hit 30 or more home runs in every year they played.
That's what I was saying. Ryan Braun may have trouble continuing to be number 2.
Yep, it's Pujols at 10 years, Braun at 3. Good start for Garcia. Brewers go down 1-2-3. No score after a half inning. No score as we move to the bottom of the first here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Ballpark is still filling up. Big crowd tonight. The Schumacher, Jay, and Pujols, Holiday, Craig, Lopez, Molina, Garcia, and Brendan Ryan. That's a look at the lineup that Dave Busch will face here tonight. He is 5-10. Ken Maka was asked about the 4 consecutive home runs that he gave up in his last start, and he said, I didn't have enough time to get somebody up to get him loose.
3rd time in Major League history, 4 consecutive home runs.
Schumacher is in the familiar spot. Being a leadoff man, his average up above 260 now at 262.
I knew this Milwaukee Brewers team had some very good hitters. And it looked like when they got Doug Davis and Randy Wolf, looked like their starting staff was going to improve. But it just hasn't materialized, has it?
Not at all. 3-0 to count. Busch with a high ERA in 10 games against the Cardinals. He is 2-6.
0-3 when he's pitching on the road.
And he walked him on 4 straight to start the game. Going to look at the outfield and some of the young players that they have in this lineup here tonight, like Kane and Escobar. Jonathan LaCroix is their catcher. That's presented by Dobbs. Here's John Jay.
Hate missing Kobe Rasmus, but you sure don't mind seeing John Jay, and now he does qualify for rookie batting status. He's leading the National League rookies now in hitting with that 365. And Alan Craig gets the benefit. He gets some more playing time to keep him sharp.
There's a look at where he ranks among the rookies. 1st in average and on base percentage, and 3rd in slugging percentage. One ball, one strike, and showed you the gaudy numbers for Jaime Garcia, who will be in that conversation for Rookie of the Year.
John Jay, I think, has just come out of nowhere. Yes, he was in spring training. Yes, Tony La Russa said he's not ready. But he started hitting from day one at Memphis, went on a 16-game hitting streak, and really hasn't stopped.
1-1 pitch in the dirt. Ryan Braun, one of those players that burst onto the scene for Milwaukee.
He won the Rookie of the Year 4 years ago, and he didn't come up until late May.
Right.
And just absolutely dominated Braun. He was playing third base, and as productive as Braun was at third base, as a hitter, he probably let in that many runs defensively, but things have really settled in for him since he's moved to left field.
Yeah, and he's fine defensively out left field. No issues at all.
And if you are worried about throwing home run pitches, walk people. Pitch behind the count. Don't throw strikes.
2 balls and 1 strike here on John Jay. Three and 1. Pujols on deck. Busy day for Albert. Yesterday at his charity golf tournament to benefit the Pujols Family Foundation. A number of the Milwaukee players were there, most of the Cardinals. Very nice event yet again. 3-1 pitch. 3-2.
Most people were amazed at how he controlled the weather, too. 25 degrees cooler than it had been because Albert asked for it.
See if they want to do some running here. There goes Schumacher. And the pitch is lifted out to left field. Braun will make the catch. Skip back to first. One away, and it brings in Albert. Shaquille O'Neal, Bobby Knight, the Wizard, Ozzie Smith, Bo Jackson, John Davidson was out there. Karen Payne of Fox Sports Midwest. A number of celebrities. And good to see that Bob Uecker is back behind the microphone for Milwaukee.
Yeah, I saw, and Yuki played in the golf tournament yesterday, so it was really good to see him, and told me he's feeling well. And on a day when you lose Bobby Thompson, you just want to hear a guy of Uecker's stature in the game say that he's feeling great, and he looks good too.
Flash bulbs popping here tonight. Pujols sitting on 30. There's Bob Uecker. Mr. Baseball.
And is it a little surprising to you when you think of the 30 home runs that Albert has hit, and you see what he's done his last 10 games? Of course, August is his most productive month for home runs, batting average throughout his career. But 25 of his 30 home runs have been hit against starting pitching.
What does that tell you?
Well, you understand why he has leading the National League in game winners.
High fly ball into deep right field. Corey Hart makes the catch. What about the specialization of the bullpen, too? You know, in facing guys maybe just that one time, 7th, 8th, or 9th inning. That may play a part in it as well.
It may, but I mean, the fact is you're talking about an exceptional hitter, and you would think it wouldn't be as pronounced with Albert as it would be any other mortal hitter. But it was surprising to me because we've seen a lot of, should we say, the Achilles heel of mediocre pitching that is in middle relief. That you get a shot at those guys and you should clean up.
Pujols is one back of done in the home run department. Mentioned the middle of the lineup of Milwaukee and production that they have had. You add in Colby Rasmus and Holiday and Pujols, you could have 3 players that hit 25 or more home runs.
Right now, the Cardinals with Pujols, Holiday, and Rasmus have hit 70 combined. But the Brewers, Fielder, Weeks, and Hart have hit 71. Dunn, by the way, has hit 71 with Zimmerman and Willingham, led by the Blue Jays.
Holiday reaches for it, hits it out to left. On initially broke in, and he goes back near the track to make the catch. Schumacher is stranded. No score after an inning. And it's our U.S. Cellular text poll. Which Brewer would you like to see on the Cardinals? Braun, Hart, McGee, or Weeks? Text Brewer A, B, C, or D to 432-432. Cardinals, you get the impression that they're actively searching for help, possibly over at third base. I wonder if there's some names out there that are to the liking of John Mozeliak.
Yeah, Mr. Cox.
That's a good one.
Yeah, how about him? A little early.
Let's start with him.
He's on the roster.
Draft pick of the Cardinals. His fielder pulls it foul. Well, the Cardinals shelled out an awful lot of money for those top picks.
I told Mr. DeWitt, I said, congratulations. Isn't it wonderful that you're getting congratulated for your wallet getting smaller?
They are expected to have spent more than $5 million in bonuses for their 4 big draft picks. And we're talking about Zach Cox, the 25th overall pick. Cardinals beat the deadline to get him signed. The team also completed a deal with their second-round pick, a reliever from Arizona State, Jordan Swaggerty. And they also add Tyrell Jenkins and Seth Blair to go along with those two. So, the Cardinals have replenished, to an extent, some of the bigger names in that farm system.
I talked to John Mozeliak, and he was very, very pleased and feels that the next several years that is going to really be, some of those players going to be the face of this franchise. And I asked about the Wilson, the 12th round pick, the young man, that hitter that slid down to the 12th round. Everybody projected him number 1, but he was going to go to Stanford. Wanted to go to school, and I said, what about him? And he said, well, in many ways, I'm very, very impressed with that young man. He made a decision, and he stuck with it. And so I think, there really was no negotiation.
Off of Garcia and a base hit for Casey McGee. Line shot off of Garcia. They're going to try to slow him down a bit. Greg Hawk, assistant trainer of the Cardinals, out to take a look at Jaime, seeing where he caught it.
Or where it caught him.
Exmo Cam presented by Ford Plaza Tire Service.
Release that ball, you're almost charging a line drive. And in this case, you'll see how quickly it gets upon you. I got him on the backside, right in the buttocks. And as long as he's having more trouble trying to keep that shirt buttoned up right there. And it's, I mean, if it catches him a little bit more square in the buttocks, there's a lot more padding. That will tighten up a little bit, but I'm sure it's, whoops. Don't like to see that. I was about to say I'm sure that things would be all right for him, but it wasn't quite, on the fleshy part. It was just more on the side of the hip. But he says he's okay.
Like it was.
Now watch right here. See, right above, just between the seam and the pocket there. And so there's a lot of muscle there, but it's not as much padding if it was about 4 inches to the right.
Well, in watching him throw those high pitches out, that was the left hip. So that would be his back leg that he's driving off of, and you wonder if he's able to drive if there's pain there. Well, this will help. Lopez to second, and he threw it away. Could have been a double play, and Lorenzo Cain is on his way to second base.
Felipe got a well-deserved day off on Sunday. 2 for 1 with the off day yesterday, and just a little too nonchalant as he just kind of slung the ball over there, didn't get on top of the throw. And then, watch here. See, he slings the ball over there, and then the ball has a tendency to sail. And, of course, Schumacher's looking for a ball chest high perfectly to be led and complete the double play, and they get none.
Al, going back to the #1 pick that was signed, there was only 3 teams that did not sign their #1 pick, and Milwaukee one of those. And with these kind of markets, you have to look at the contracts of Pujols and Fielder and realize that to stay competitive and pay those guys, you've got to have young talent. It's inexpensive in baseball terms.
A rare intentional pass from Tony La Russa. Bring up their young catcher, 8th place hitter, and then the pitcher spot. Tony playing the percentages.
And the base is loaded now with 1 out. And the 8th place hitter, Jonathan LaCroix.
You would think with Escobar's speed, maybe a little tough to double up, so you have a force out at all bases.
The Brewers hit .245 with runners in scoring position during the first 4 months of this season. 25th in the big leagues. In August, they are 3rd overall in Major League Baseball, hitting .329.
Croy began the season at Double-A Huntsville. It's just 10 games and hit over .450. And this is his 45th game here at the Major League level.
First pitch taken for a ball. So it's E5, fielder's choice on the play. Now the intentional walk to Escobar, and here's LaCroix. The thing about Garcia, he is working with an extra day's rest in this start, and the rookie has not pitched through the 6th inning in either of his past 2 starts.
Right now they could afford to do that, but we're getting into the part of the schedule where we'll be playing 40 out of the last 45 days. And so it'll be very few times where you can, unless you assert an extra starter, to where you can give those extra days rest.
Good pitch.
Still that tremendous movement. Got that good change up, but late movement on all of his pitches.
At home, it's a 1.94 ERA for Jaime, and he is 4-2 here at Busch Stadium.
And he's walked a few more than what you'd like, but he's done a very good job to keep the ball in the park. Only 6 home runs allowed this season. And 70% of the time, 71% of the time, 3rd best in the National League. When they put the ball in play, it's a ground ball. Even though the control issues, but more than likely he's going to get a ground ball and get himself out of the inning with the 8th place hitter.
1-2 the count. strikeout, a big one for Garcia. Already number 4 here in the first 2 innings.
And now you have the pitcher coming up. Now we're talking about all the pitches he had, but look at that breaking ball right there. You can't get hurt on that one. 12-6, but it bounces up there. You know, it looks like it starts out about thigh high, bounces at the plate. And even if you're going to hit that, you're going to hit it in the ground.
Dave Bush hitting 139. No home runs. And he does have 1 RBI. Looks at strike 1. 2 outs and the bases loaded here for Milwaukee.
Dave Bush, 30 years of age now, but at least he's healthy this season.
You talked about it earlier. Their pitching has been a problem from a year ago, and it's carried over to this season. They did add a Randy Wolf, but they've dealt with injuries. Greg Zahn is injured. Marco Estrada, Doug Davis, Carlos Gomez, LaTroy Hawkins.
That fastball, good location, out away from him, chasing the pitch. You aren't going to do anything with it. And then you go back to being hit on that left hip or buttocks. In my mind, it would be the right leg that would tighten up, the one that you've got to lift up and curl more so than the back leg.
He got him. Strikes out the side, pitches around the air. Big strikeout. The inning started with a K of the big man, Prince Fielder. LaCroix with the breaking ball, and then he gets Dave Bush on the check swing. No score midway through 2. Toyota keys to the game. Runs per game this season. The Brewers on the road, a National League best, over 5. Cardinals at home, 4th in the National League at 5. And yet we have a scoreless ball game here early on. Alan Craig, the right fielder tonight, hitting just 170. 1 home run and 9 driven in.
He's been called up 4 different times this season. Broke with the big league club for the first time. He's 4 for 12 since his most recent recall, but he owns AAA. 322 average, 14 home runs, 76 RBIs for Memphis. And he is really kind of fighting this coming off the bench for the first time in his career. So with Kobe being out, there's always a silver lining, and this is to get another start for Jay and for Alan Craig.
On the inside corner, it's 1-2.
Mentioned 76 RBIs at Memphis. He had 35 RBIs in June. That's the highest monthly total for any minor leaguer in all of baseball.
You talk about those lofty numbers in the minor leagues, and that's with missing, a chunk of the season in the very beginning of the year because he broke camp with the Cardinals.
And was like 1 for 19, but virtually a month of the season there. And been up and down, like I said, 4 times. His first year in the big leagues. Cardinals minor league player of the year last season. It's got a lot of potential, but it's a lot different when you're not playing every day.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Off-speed pitch, lifted out to left. Braun makes the catch with 2 hands. Learn more about yesterday's draft pick signings over at foxsportsmidwest.com. You'll hear from Cardinals Vice President of Scouting and Player Development, Jeff Luno, about these players and what we've learned. BJ Rains has a couple of stories up. Just head right now to foxsportsmidwest.com. Interesting to see that the third baseman from Arkansas is on the 40-man roster.
I asked Mr. DeWitt about that, Cardinal owner, and he said, hey, we knew all along that was not a problem. That was a condition. And he said, that deadline, it was, whether it was going to be 5 in the morning or 11 o'clock at night, he said there weren't going to be deals done until that deadline for not only the Cardinals, but virtually everybody.
Yep.
But they had no problem with that. He's a Division I college player out of Arkansas. So 3-4 years down the road, he should be contributing here.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Felipe Lopez. And Lopez strokes a single on a 1-2 pitch. First base hit for the Cardinals tonight.
Boy, Felipe got a big pinch hit on Sunday and drove in 2 in the 9th inning. That broke a long losing streak. Now remember, he's a switch hitter, but coming off the bat of a left-handed hitter, it's going to slice away towards the left field. More times you'll see how dramatic that is if it's sliced into the left field corner, a right-handed batter when they hit it into right field. And guess where Molina likes to hit the ball?
Right. Big gap into left center, but we have seen him time and again lately go to right.
If they get the ball down, and he's automatically always shooting to the right side, especially when you're holding that runner on. There's a big hitting lane that way, but it just seems like it's almost automatic. If he can gets a ball down and away, is the one that he just hits that little line drive in front of the right fielder. 31 of his hits have been to right, but it just seems like those are all big hits.
Average has jumped up to 256. The 0-1 pitch to Molina. You've talked about this an awful lot, but you're doing him a favor by pitching him away.
Yes, you are. That's part of what I'm saying. And of course, they're pitching him away and playing him away. He had his 7-game hitting streak stopped on Saturday, but he's hit .344 since the All-Star break. It's about 110 points higher than his first half average, but because of his great defense, he was an All-Star again this year.
And he's had the right approach about just saying, you know what, first half is over, start anew.
Talk about how this game is so mental, and you're absolutely right, Dan. When you can't do anything. Guys make the big mistake of looking at their average and it's down in the 220s, 30s, and they try to, to add from there. Just mentally say that, okay, I'm starting out fresh, and he can say now I'm hitting .344 in the second half.
Double play ball, hit too short, low throw. And yet, nice pick by fielder over at first. 6-4-3. As we head to the third, top of the lineup coming up. Visit Kia.com. And by Amway Global, where positivity powers our people, products, and business.
What's so dressing?
Top of the third rolls in, one hit aside, and there's no score here at Busch Stadium. Milwaukee and St. Louis. Garcia struck out 5, first time through the lineup.
Pitch count at 34, so really not a high pitch count for that many strikeouts.
And here is Ricky Weeks.
The strikeout was 135th.
And he was ahead in the count, 3 balls and a strike, too. I want to go back to that 40-man roster. I'm sure we have folks at home, Al, saying, okay, well, what does that mean? What's the significance of adding a player on the 40-man roster like Zach Cox?
Many times, and with a high school player, it probably is not a good idea. But if you're a college player, you're on the roster right now, so you start losing options. And, you know, is it 3 options, and then the 4th one, you have to stay with the ball club. So meaning every year he'll go to spring training with the ball club. With the big league club, he'll be sent down, say next year, and he'll use up an option. Now, if you came back up and down, you could do that as many times as possible, and you only lose 1 option.
Second walk by Garcia, the other was an intentional. The Cardinals are honored to present a special ticket discount to all military personnel. Active, reserve, or retired, all military personnel, along with their families, can receive a special ticket discount for select games in August and also in September. For more information, purchase those discounted seats. Just head to cardinals.com/military. And again, we're on the Armed Forces Network tonight. Thank you to the men and women of our Armed Forces and their outstanding service for our country.
A big military day on Saturday here, as Commanding General of Fort Leonard Wood be thrown out of first base, along with General Hodges of Scott. I understand a couple command sergeant majors and a couple of our wounded warriors are going to be part of the pregame ceremonies. So it should be a lot of fun to come out and recognize the great men and women of the Armed Forces and a tremendous job they do for us.
Here's Hart. That's a base hit into right. So walking a single. Weeks on his way to third. He'll stop there. Ryan flipped to the bag at second. Schumacher was there, and they made that close. Heads up play.
Sure did. Ricky Weeks had that look where he wanted to go to third. I'm sure he had to have picked up his third base coach, and he alerted him that we had Alan Craig got to this ball quickly, came up firing. Look at Ricky, looks out here. He's committed. Oh, he stumbled. That's what he stumbled going around the bag, and very alert. Brendan Ryan gets the ball right here. He's got the play in front of him. A little shovel pass to Schumacher. He was prepared for it, but Ricky did get back to the bag ahead of the tag.
First and second now for Ryan Braun.
And Braun leading the National League batters in road average.
Strike at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. Braun grounded out to short, first time up.
Ryan had 114 RBIs last season, 68 currently. He's got 1/2 the home runs he had of a year ago, 32 versus 16.
Jaime needs a double play here.
Remember, all the ground balls he gets, that's very, very capable. Now, the one thing, and we'll have to keep an eye on this, remember when he's hit by that line drive in the buttocks, and a couple of warm-up tosses were up. A few of more of his pitches this inning have been getting up, and when you get the ball up, it becomes fly balls. If you get the ball down, you get ground balls.
That pitch was up, but Lopez commits another error. His second tonight.
Kendo acting like he made the error, but there's a routine double play ball and just booted him. Trying to field the ball, go to step on the bag for the force play before he really looked it into his glove. And Felipe, who really had his problems over at third, magnified on really hard hit balls, but that wasn't one.
So E5, fielder's choice, and bases loaded now for a dangerous hitter in Prince Fielder. Does have 1 grand slam, 4 for 10 in this spot this year. There's a double play ball. Run will score. Out at second. Double play.
And we talked earlier about the mental toughness of Jaime Garcia. And, he never even flinched. I mean, the error hit behind him. He just sat there and said, hey, I got a job to do. And he does the best thing he can. Get that double play. You'll trade trade a run for the double play ball in that situation. Now you've got 2. You got a runner at third base. Just keep on bowing your neck and don't let them score anymore.
Here's McGee with a runner at third. You'll take that double play with fielder up. Run does score. 1-0 Milwaukee. The ball will find you. Hear that all the time.
It took a long time for it to find Alan Craig Sunday, making his first start at third base. Until the 27th, potential 27th out, he got his first ground ball and he made an error.
Right.
But Alan Craig, who was a third baseman early in his career, and because Felipe really struggling offensively, mentally needed a break, and Alan filled in over at third base on Sunday.
Pitch number 51 of the night for Garcia, taken for strike.
And I think it's fair to say that of all the positions that Felipe Lopez can play in the infield, third base is probably least experience there, and probably the least favorite.
2-2. Happy birthday to Bobby Curtis in Springfield, Missouri, celebrating her 88th birthday and watching Cardinals baseball tonight. Happy birthday to Bobby. McGee, good numbers in this spot. Two and two.
But what I like about Jaime is he just worries about what is under his control. Everything that goes on around him, he's just oblivious to it. He just has really been a sponge all season long, learning from the veteran starters.
2-2 is lifted out to center. Jay on the move. Back to the infield. He won't get it. It's over the wall. And a home run. Two-run shot. Casey McGee, his 19th of the year. RBIs 76 and 77. A 2-2 pitch, and he drives it over the wall in center field.
Talk about how powerful they are. And Casey McGee, what a great find he was. Pickup. There's that breaking ball. Might have gone to the well one time too many. He earned it by hitting it over the center field wall. And that ball is pretty much down, but another breaking ball out over the plate, and he might have been expecting it after the sequence of breaking balls in this to him.
The Brewers are very high on this young man, Lorenzo Cain. Cain with a base hit. Third hit in the inning.
So our first look at Cain, he was recalled from AAA Nashville on August the 6th. 22 games, hit .300. No home runs, just 9 RBIs, 5 steals. He began the season at AA, where he was a Southern League All-Star. He had .324 with just 3 home runs, so doesn't look like a lot of power, but very good athlete.
2 outs and a runner at first. Nice pick by Albert. They say he glides to the ball. You know, everything for him when he's out in center field, very easy. You know, at one point, they had this young man right here, their shortstop, playing center field. They had traded Edmonds. Braun was hurt, so Escobar had to play center field.
And Escobar is a work in progress. Very good prospect. By no means a finished product. He's made a lot of errors, but he's got a lot of talent.
Another check on that runner at first. So 4 hits for Milwaukee against Jaime Garcia.
Cain had 21 stolen bases in 62 games in the Southern League. 5 steals in 22 games at AAA.
One of the things the Cardinals have talked about with Jaime Garcia here at this level is controlling his emotions. And we've seen him at times get really upset after giving up a base hit, or in this instance, a home run. But, you know, for the most part, he's done a good job with that.
Yes. that one time we really saw that, but
Lopez to second, had to hurry up, and they just got him by maybe a foot. Jaime leads it off when we come back. Let's check out the crowd through the Thirst Inning fan cam and see who's enjoying the game. Budweiser, it's what we do. Dave Bush going back to work, and it's 3-0 Milwaukee. Runs are unearned. 2 errors behind Garcia here tonight, both by Felipe Lopez. And it's added up to a 3-0 Milwaukee lead. Jaime is hitting just 175. Brendan Ryan is on deck, and then we'll see Skip Schumacher. Cardinals tonight have had 2 base runners, a leadoff walk to Schumacher. He was left stranded in the first. And a single by Felipe Lopez, and then he was erased on a double play. Cincinnati at Arizona tonight as they begin that tough stretch of 9 games on the West Coast. That catches the corner. 2-2.
Dan, everybody talks about that tough stretch, but people got to look at the Cardinals schedule and say, look at that. They're going to be playing 17 out of 20 games on the road.
Brutal.
After this homestand.
Garcia too short. Escobar with it. 1 away. Cardinals are having trouble with the sub 500 teams since the All-Star break. Cardinals against teams below 500, 7-7. Teams above 500 like the Dodgers, Phillies, Mets, Cincinnati, they are 11-3 since the break.
Now, I don't think that this right now, I think this will kind of even out a little bit. There's no way a Tony La Russa ball club is bypassing, the 500 or weaker clubs to look ahead to tougher series. It's just a quirk of the scheduling right now. But the old cliche, if you've got to play them 1 game at a time, is so obvious. You cannot look ahead. You've got to take care of your own business. Of course, we're all going to watch the scoreboard, but you win your ball game, especially when they're on the West Coast. You post that victory, and that's a real tough on the team that you're chasing or is chasing you. So just win your ball game. Everything else will take care of itself.
Well, with the unbalanced schedule and interleague play, it's an odd 2-game series. This ball game tonight, day baseball tomorrow. Look at that play. Fires it high, though, into the dugout, which then that baseball winds up in the seats.
And that's what we're talking about. This young man has got a lot of talent. He's going to be a good player. But right now, You do the tough part, getting to that ball up the middle, you spin, and then you throw it away. And instead of just, conceding one base, now you turn it into 2 bases.
So it's a single E6 on the play.
17th error for Escobar, and Brendan Ryan needed that hit.
Here's Skip Schumacher, walked first time up. 1 out, runner at second, 3-0 Milwaukee. Milwaukee was able to take advantage of the Lopez error, turned it into 3 runs. Will the Cardinals do that here in their half of the third? Talk about Molina going to the opposite way. Same could be said for Schumacher. It seems like when he's right, locked in, a lot of base hits to left, and with a runner at second, shortstop Escobar trying to keep Brendan Ryan close, so a lot of room to that left side of the infield.
Yeah, you and I think, would not play our shortstop. We would not have him shadowing the runner at second base, have him more in the hole.
And here it is. Weeks in time, yes. And we'll have an argument here from Tony La Russa.
Tony's going out slow because it really appeared to the naked eye that he was safe. And Tony trying to formulate his idea, trying not to get too excited. Early in Tony's career, when he was managing, and you get a better look at it right here, the high bounce on that one there, it's really hard to see when it got in his glove, but to the naked eye, it really did look like, that looks like he's out. Of course, Cardinal fans see it with their heart and their own emotions. I'd say the same thing about John Jay, Dan, that he hits the ball to left field and off lot too.
Yeah. So 2 outs and a runner at third base. Breaking ball misses low.
But either way, the way we were trying to defend, that would have been a much easier play for Ricky Weeks, because that ball would have been hit right at him instead of a step or two to his right.
1-0 pitch to Jay. I think you got the play right.
Yeah, I mean, at first I thought he got the play wrong, Paul Mauert, but looking at the replays, I say he got the play right.
The 2-0 pitch. Pujols waits on deck.
What you do is you look over and you see Albert there and you go, boy, the last thing I want to do is walk this guy. Then that muscle gets a little tighter.
3-1. We might be asked to take another one right here.
Yeah, Bush, in my mind, he throws a lot of pitches up in the zone. That's why he gives up so many home runs.
Floats in there for a strike. So 3-2. And again, he has allowed 19 home runs this year.
And as a hitter, you want to go up there and just hit the ball hard, even if you're Albert.
And a call third strike. Jay didn't like it. He froze him with a breaking ball. 3-0 after 3. Jonathan LaCroix will lead it off for Milwaukee Brewers. They have a lead of 3-0. They've out hit the Cardinals 4-2. And that pitch is taken high, and we're underway here in the top of the fourth. Little bouncer left side. Lopez makes the play. A sarcastic cheer from the crowd. You can follow the Cardinals on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phone with MLB.com at Bat 2010. Featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. For more information, visit Cardinals.com today. There's Dave Bush, who struck out in the second. Garcia, first time through, if you're just joining us, struck out the side in the second, struck out 5 first time through this lineup.
And all 3 runs scored tonight are unearned runs.
1 ball, 1 strike. Big series with San Francisco and Philly tonight. And the Phillies have a 4-3 lead over the Giants. Right behind us. That's our buddy back there.
Yep.
Carving station here at the ballpark.
Oh, tenderloin, huh?
They have turkey. They have tenderloin tonight. They've got Chinese food. They've got pizza.
Bacon wrapped hot dogs.
You tried that now, all right?
Yeah, with beans
and live to talk about it.
Yes. But that's our favorite right there. Our friends right there at the carving station.
Good guys. Game time temperature tonight, 78 degrees, and a little breeze coming through the booth here. It's a cool night, it feels like, here at the ballpark as Garcia walks the pitcher Bush. Third walk he's issued. He also has handed out an intentional walk, and that was back in the second inning. Here's Ricky Weeks, who walked and scored in the third. He's also struck out.
And I walked a fair share, more than I should have walked. But if I could do things over, I would never walk anybody.
The thing, you know, they're not trying to do it. It just happens.
And there's times, even as a pitcher, you know a guy's taking it. And you know he's not even going to swing the bat. And you still have a hard time throwing strikes.
I've had pitchers tell me that's the hardest, when you know he's going to be taking, and they just can't get it over the plate.
And if you really think about it, it's lack of concentration. You know, instead of just playing catch with the catcher, you know, you're out there, you start thinking about it too much, saying, oh, I know he's not swinging the bat, and you're letting things distract you. And then there's other times you throw every pitch and you just have this unbelievable ability to hit somebody's bat.
Just happens that way, right?
And not a good way.
No. Kind of 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Ricky Weeks. I don't know about you. To me, Garcia's stuff tonight has been really good.
Well, in the first inning, it was exceptional. I mean, the ball would just have terrific movement. He was moving around, but everything was down, changing speeds.
Two. Fouled back, and a big rip by Ricky Weeks. Not bad to have 23 home runs and 72 RBIs from your leadoff man.
Never really talked about this, but early in the season, his very good advertised curveball wasn't there. Maybe it was a little factor that it was colder weather. He had an exceptional slider.
Double play ball. They have to hurry. It looked like it just...
Brendan Ryan had trouble getting it out of the glove, and that was the difference in completing the double play. So with that, 3 times the Cardinals have had opportunity to double play. Watch here. Kind of loses the handle. Then it took that time. That's another step and a half for Ricky Weeks, and the reason he's safe. But 3 double play opportunities and only one they were able to turn.
Here's Corey Hart, 2 outs and a runner at first. See, Oquendo is just obviously upset with what he has seen.
Well, Dan, it's just like Saturday's ball game, the inability to get some bunts down that led to a defeat. Same thing defensively, when you give good offensive clubs more outs per inning, you know, you're going to get burned. That is one thing that, when you look at some of the disappointments for the Cardinals this year, is how many runners they've lost on the base paths, their fundamentals, their defense. They have not been able to play as well defensively as you think a Tony La Russa team is. And you know, Oquendo and Patini work so hard for these guys every single day, and the players put in the time too.
Wouldn't think that Garcia would go very deep in this game now. 74 pitches.
And that's one of the things too, is trying not to tax him, that they will, err on, not sending him out there deep into a ball game. Now, because you're trailing 3-0, that's also a factor.
Two balls and one strike. And that's a foul ball.
And the Cardinals, running out of off days too.
Another one on Thursday, and then get ready. We see a lot of baseball coming up.
Well, you have the off day on Thursday, then you're going to have an off day before Cincinnati comes in town on September 2nd. Then it appears you're going to lose the off day on September 20th. So go back down to Florida and make up that game. So the Cardinals will be playing in 44 out of the next 45 days. So that's no extra rest, no time to where you can rest Albert on an off day. If you have to rest him, it's going to be miss a game.
A roll foul.
And it really has been remarkable how much Yachty has caught, more innings than any other National League catcher. And when you're playing some of the heat that we've had, it's been remarkable that how he can answer the bell day after day after day. Give him a lot of credit. Stephen Hill, the young Double-A catcher, was called up when LaRue went on the disabled list from the post-fight concussion syndrome, but he got his first major league hit. Just happened to be a home run in his second plate appearance Sunday.
Here's a grounder to Schumacher, to Albert. Sad day in baseball as we head to this timeout. Pujols leads it off for St. Louis. At the knees and a strike. Albert flied out to right first time up. The most consecutive seasons with 30 home runs in Major League Baseball history. Barry Bonds had 13. Jimmy Fox, A-Rod both with 12. Pujols has began a career that is headed to the Hall of Fame, you would figure, with 10. Carlos Delgado at 10, and so did Sammy Sosa.
But nobody started their career like Albert, doing every single year. Hit over 300, over 100 RBIs, and he'll get there again this year. He leads the league with 86.
2-2. Two pitch. Pujols, deep center, number 31. He's closing in on 400, and that is number 31.
.397, 3 away from 400. Now, 50th all-time on the home run list all by himself. He just passed Joe Carter. Dead center field. Out up away from him, and another home run against Milwaukee, and another home run in August.
Holiday pops it up to the right side and out of play. What a month he is putting together, huh?
He's almost 350 for his career batting in August, and more home runs in August than any other month. And we're talking about cumulative total in his career.
That's now 7 home runs in 13 games here in this month of August. You mentioned it's been his most productive month throughout his career. Highest batting average, second highest on base percentage, slugging percentage, most home runs in August.
77th home run in August, and he's hit home runs in 8 of his last 14 games.
Out to deep right. Hard is back and makes the catch near the wall. And 7 of his 10 seasons, Pujols has hit homer number 30 in the month of August. This date in history presented by Schnucks. Larry Walker hits a grand slam off of Danny Graves. 6-run 8th, leading the Cardinals to a 7-2 win over the Reds back in 2004. Periodically, we'll hear from Larry Walker throughout the regular season. We'll see him stop on a road trip or two.
And Danny Graves is a very fine pitcher and closer, but boy, the Cardinals had his number, didn't they?
Well, you always go back to the comeback in Cincinnati.
Yep.
And then at the end of his career, saw him so much being in the same division, and yet it just seemed like dramatic wins too. Now, a lot of that is because he's the closer, he's coming in late, but the home runs that were hit, the big innings against him.
Alan Craig getting worked over a little bit as they're really changing speeds on the rookie.
To wonder what kind of votes Larry Walker might get for the Hall of Fame.
Oh, he'll get his share. I mean, he was an outstanding all-around player.
Alan Craig to short.
And Dan, yesterday, talking with Mike Piazza, who's got a couple more years to wait before his first year of eligibility. But I kind of talked to Mike a little bit. Never linked to steroids, but playing in that era with, big home run totals, what would happen with him? He said he's writing a book right now, and a lot of that will be discussed in his book.
Now, is he going to talk about his own personal experiences?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, just like, what it was like where, buying some of the products over the counter in GNCs and, some of the supplements that later on were put on the restricted list. But how in some ways it's not fair to some of these guys because nobody told them or nobody knew, say, some of these things were precursors. And he had some frank, I don't want to get into the book, but he had some frank discussions with some people, trainers and different doctors about some of these things, and just said, okay, don't use them.
Strikeout of Felipe Lopez, second of the night for Busch, but the Cardinals get on the board against the right-hander. Home run number 31 for Pujols and RBI number 87. It's 3-1. Fifth of this season. One. That's hard to believe.
Yeah, I knew that it had to be a low total, but shocking, just one.
Free agent to be in Prince Fielder, or you can go the other direction, which the Brewers have done with the man at the plate in Ryan Braun, which is to give him that guaranteed contract up front, lock him up. And it's a risk for the club, and it's also a risk by the player. The player could put up big numbers and not maybe make as much money over the course of that time, but they do have the security of that contract. And for Braun, it was nearly $50 million.
Braun is 16 home runs away from equaling his total of last season, and Prince Fielder is 21. And a ton of RBIs are missing from these two great hitters.
0-2 pitch. Little bloop. Schumacher makes the catch. Nice adjustment on the play. Enjoy the Cardinals baseball experience at Busch Stadium when you stay at the Hyatt Regency St. Louis at the Arch. Package includes overnight accommodations, $10 food and beverage credit per day at the Brew House, tickets to a Cardinals game, plus a personalized Rawlings baseball bat. Visit Hyatt Regency St. Louis.com for more information. Breaking ball and a good one to Fielder. Pitch sharply to Pujols. 2 outs. Casey McGee with a 2-run homer. 2 for 2 with a single as well.
One that lined the ball off of Garcia. His left hip. Good pickup by Milwaukee from the Cubbies.
Our friend Scott Cooper, the honorary chairman of the 6th annual Community Living Swing for Kids Classic at the Golf Course, coming up in late August. If you'd like to find out more, 636-614-1305. Garcia will stay with it and makes the play. Another hard hit ball right back at him. At 12:30 right here on Fox Sports Midwest, and it's Randy Wolf against Adam Wainwright. Wolf 500 at 9-9, Adam at 17-6.
11-0 at home for Adam Wainwright. A 1.22 lead the major leagues in ERA at home. He's making a push for the Cy Young.
Nice piece by Derek Gould on Adam in today's edition of the Post-Dispatch. One of the things that he brought up is Molina grounds out to short, the lack of maybe the national recognition of just how good Wainwright has been statistically this year, especially here at home.
I read that article, and I guess we just, I don't want to say take it for granted, but I was a little surprised that he felt that he was lacking in awareness from the national media, because, boy, he's been doing this now for a couple of years. You go back to 06 as a closer and a dominant closer for the world champions, winning that, and then last year the National League's biggest winner at 19 games. I mean, can't be much of a fan, especially if you're national media, to not know what he's doing.
The Rockies blew a chance for Jimenez to get win number 18 the other night. Routine pop-up cost them in that inning. It cost him the chance of the win. They would eventually win the ball game, but number 18 Jimenez did not get.
Adam has about 9 more shots, and I don't think 20 is going to be his goal.
2-2.
I'd like to see him get to 25.
Well, that would be something. And you wonder, you know, he's the kind of guy that I'm sure down the stretch, final couple of weeks, if they went to him and said, you know, how do you feel going on 3 days rest, he'd be able to do it. Been a workhorse. 2-2. Slapped out of play and foul.
He is in the low 80s in his pitch count, so see how far he goes.
And this is popped up into shallow right field. Ricky Weeks, 2 down. Be a part of the first ever Cardinals Care Run Home for Kids 6K on August 29th in honor of Stan the Man. Cardinals Care fundraiser. That run will start at the Musial statue outside Gate 3, and you'll end inside Busch Stadium and finish stepping on home plate. All you have to do is head to cardinals.com/runhome for more information. All the proceeds, 100%, will go back to the community and the kids here in St. Louis. Check swing.
Sometimes you just wonder what goes on in the mindset of Brendan Ryan. I know that could be dangerous, but sometimes the way he takes fastballs, and then you know he's so vulnerable to the sweeping breaking ball.
Low strike that time, 1-2.
That's a pretty good pitcher's pitch. Yeah, really hitting the black. Now 2 strikes, and many times we'll see that sweeping breaking ball.
And Ryan reaches for it, hits it down the left field line, but foul. Reached on an error first time up. It was a single, then the air by Escobar. So Brendan is 1 for 1, average at 223 now.
Even a ball like that can, you know, more times than not, when you're reaching for that breaking ball away and hooking it, you just roll over and hit little weak ground balls to the left side. He really hadn't shown that ability to try and go to the opposite field the way they're playing him defensively. Now they're playing their right fielder and their center fielder. Big gap out in the left center. And it just seems like we see him roll over on most balls. But maybe the charts say he'll roll over on the infield and hit the ball to the opposite field. Yep, up the middle, base hit.
Two-hit night for the Cardinal shortstop.
It's becoming more and more a norm for him. A horrendous first half, but there he gets the ball up in the middle of the plate and just pounds it up the middle. Take that approach, or even hit more balls to the right side. Keep you from just rolling over on pitches. There's that harmless ground ball to short or third.
Brendan is now 5 for 10 against a Busch in his career. And here's Schumacher back to the top of the lineup. He is grounded to second and also walked.
Brendan has a multi-hit game in 9 of his last 19 games.
No balls and a strike here on Skip Schumacher. 2 down and a runner at first. 0-2. Clayton and his father-in-law Ken are avid viewers. Ken originally from England and is a veteran and recent health issues, but watching baseball tonight. Here's the 0-2.
Two outs, 0-2 pitch. Why are you worrying about the runner first? Well, you split your concentration there, you're going to make a mistake at going to the plate.
Oh-2, and Schumacher lifts a fly ball out to left, and we have played 5 here at Busch Stadium. 3-1, Cardinals trailing here tonight, game 1 of this 2-game series. Lumiere Casino. Every time the Cardinals win, the next day get a free buffet with a purchase of one at the kitchen at Lumiere Place. Visit My Choice for details. And by Taco Bell, open 2 a.m. or later. That's Mary, who works the elevator.
Do you read what that balloon says on Friday?
50 years.
Yep, Friday, Mary and Don have been married 50 years. And she's only 35.
And Don works here at the ballpark as well. Mary, a former school teacher.
She's second to Aggie.
Nobody beats Aggie. 1 ball, 1 strike on Lorenzo Cain. Cain, Escobar, and LaCroix. There's a good breaking ball, but he doesn't get the call. The 2-1 pitch. And a high fly ball into left center. John Jay over to make the catch. Cheer on the Cardinals against their rival, the Chicago Cubs, September 24th through the 26th on the official Cardinals road trip to Wrigley package. Includes hotel accommodations, game tickets, and an exclusive Cardinals event. Reserve your spot on the road trip September 24th through the 26th. You can call 800-892-7687 or visit cardinals.com/vacations. One on, nobody on. Strike 1 on Escobar.
There's Aggie. You know, they've actually they've added her station to the tours because everyone hears us talking about what a wonderful person Aggie is.
I've noticed she only has a couple of outfits, though. That was taken in the early spring, so
file footage.
It was a little chilly. We're assuming that night. Well, you never know. It's chilly tonight, right?
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. But compared to what we've had, it's chilly.
Well, we're going to get that other weather back.
Here's Brendan Ryan, 2 pool holes, and they get Escobar by a step. 2 outs, and it brings in LaCroix. LaCroix has grounded out to third and also struck out 0 for 2. Cardinals looking ahead to the bottom half of this inning will have Jay, Pujols, and Holiday. So big bats coming up.
He's thrown 94 pitches.
The 1-1 pitch. Alan Craig will hustle over there, but no play.
Milwaukee, all their scoring back in the 3rd inning. 2-run home run by Casey McGee. 3 hits that inning, but there was a big error and all 3 runs unearned.
The 1-2 pitch in the dirt. 2-2. Both teams have committed errors tonight. Cardinals with 2, Milwaukee 1. Garcia's not struck out a man since back in the 2nd.
Assume that this would be his last inning of work, just where they're trying to protect him a little bit and make sure he's strong throughout the season. And you're a little bit covered with the off days.
Hit out of play. Get that outstanding tailing fastball to the righties.
It's not only the fastball, but that changeup has great running action down and away. And they're going to make that good pitch out there. The hitter can do is just get a little piece of it, waiting for a mistake.
The 2-2. Base hit to left. 2-out hit brings in the pitcher, Dave Bush. Bush has walked and also struck out.
We'll get the bullpen active.
Jaime has already struck out the side. He has struck out 5 in the first 2 innings, and he's only allowed 5 hits tonight.
Boggs warming up.
Arizona with a 2-0 lead in the first.
You can go crazy watching that scoreboard, but it sure is fun. There's Bronson Arroyo.
Good pitch and a curveball that Bush strikes out on midway through 6 here at Busch Stadium on a cool night. It's 3-1 Milwaukee. And it's 3-1. Milwaukee with the lead. There's a home run by Kelly Johnson for Arizona. Their 2-0 lead. And our U.S. Cellular text poll, which Brewer would you like to see on the Cardinals? Ryan Braun, 40%. How even that was. 10, 20, 30, 40. A lot of teams would like to see Ryan Braun. John Jay. Jay has flied to left and also struck out. One and two. Right-hander getting loose for the Brewers. It's not just their starting rotation, but their bullpen has struggled this year as well. And a swing and a miss as John Jay strikes out. What a pitch by Bush.
After a breaking ball, swings over the top of it.
There's Pujols, who is homered tonight. Up and in. And tomorrow we're going to see Randy Wolf. And Dave Bush has allowed 20 home runs with one more tonight. And Randy Wolf tied for second. He's allowed 24 as Pujols went down to get that pitch and pulls it foul and out of play.
They're playing a hitters-friendly ballpark in Milwaukee, and this is a real fair ballpark here. Oh, pitchers can get away with a lot more, but
1-2 pitch, and Pujols hits it to Braun in left, makes the catch. Quickly, 2 outs. I want to remind you, this season it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell tickets to the games that you can't make on StubHub. The official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. You'll find great seats, great service on StubHub all season. Just head to StubHub.com and choose your seats today. Now the Brewers bullpen came into play tonight with the third most innings pitched in baseball, 387 1/3. That'll wear you down over the course of 6 months of a regular season.
And I know you've made an awful lot out of it, and legitimately so, the number of appearances out of Cincinnati's bullpen. But that is something that you always strive to have your bullpen throw the fewest innings. One, your starters are going deeper into ball games. You have to get anywhere from the last 9 outs versus getting like 12, 15 outs per start. That really takes a toll on that bullpen.
416 hits allowed. That's most in the big leagues, along with batters faced, over 1,700.
Catcher got a foul tip there, so everybody kind of slowing down the action for him to recover.
Scoots through him, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And the Cardinals had to make the Westbrook trade. They had to get another starting pitcher. The real question is, do you have enough offense? And for the most part, they've been scoring 4 runs. This is, they've only had one complete game where they scored less than 4 since the trade.
Holiday hustling down the line, low throw, picked by fielder. Good hustle by Matt Holiday, made that close. Dave Bush through 6 with a lead. It's 3-1 Milwaukee. Milwaukee lead, and he is connected with a lone run tonight, number 31 for Pujols, and it's our Hardy's prime cut of the game. And that RBI for Pujols, number 87, Hardy's prime cut of the game. So Mitchell Boggs in relief of Jaime Garcia. It's our Chevy call to the bullpen. 102 pitches, 65 were strikes for Garcia tonight. Gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, and he walked 3, and probably deserved a better fate.
All 3 runs were unearned, but that's the way baseball is. Looked like after the 1 error, he got the double play, and looked like he was going to pitch around it, but then the home run.
Off the foot there of Ricky Weeks, and a couple of errors by Lopez tonight. So those runs unearned.
Mitchell Boggs had a real good outing where he shut down Cubs hitters for a couple scoreless innings on Saturday.
Outfield is straight away. Numbers on Boggs this year. 47th appearance here tonight, a record of 1-2, 51 innings and 37 strikeouts. Works from the stretch in a 1-1.
It's talking about the Ludwig trade and just how the Cardinals gambled a little bit that they'd have enough offense. They had to have a quality pitcher, and they got one in Westbrook, and he'll be very, very helpful. But you just wonder, there are times like this where you just don't have enough firepower. You have to remember you got an awful lot of young, inexperienced hitters there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Talked about the off days the Cardinals have coming up, and we'll see how Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa want to deal with their pitching staff. Would somebody get some extra rest? Would you skip somebody?
Jeff Suppan threw a simulated game before batting practice today.
There's a look at Soup dealing with a groin strain. Leadoff walk to Ricky Weeks. Second time he has done that tonight. And it brings in Corey Hart. Hart has struck out, singled, and also grounded out. Late swing, and that's why they have that screen up. I'm sure somebody is wondering right now, how is Juan Encarnacion doing?
Cardinals really do not get many reports. They've tried to find out his condition, but not much communication coming from Juan's side. But
this could be two if he gets to it. Out at second. Double play. Fantastic play, Brendan Ryan. One of the top defensive plays we've seen from Brendan this season, and that's saying something.
Outstanding, and you know he can be a highlight reel. Ball hit sharply up here, he dives, doesn't have the time, so he flips it from his glove. Schumacher with that return throw and gets him by plenty, but tremendous range and the agility to flip it from the glove with control right to Schumacher. Chest high, and then with Skip with that great arm strength he's got. They got Corey by about 10 feet.
Boy, what a play there by Brendan Ryan. The crowd now is into it too. And that's something that gets a charge through this team here tonight.
Well, that's runners at first and second, if not first and third, and turn into 2 outs. So a heads-up play. Remember, you'd have Braun coming up here with 2 men on and nobody out.
And another chance for Brendan Ryan. This the ovation he'll get. Time to stretch. Winner in the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run, Linda Eschbacher qualifies for the Hyundai Sonata drawing in September. So far this season, Cardinals home runs have qualified 11 people for the Sonata drawing, and you can still enter by visiting St. Louis area Hyundai dealer. Milwaukee Brewers again, the bullpen and their ranks this year. We were talking about it last inning. ERA second highest, and opponent's average 4th highest at 276.
said, a lot of innings out of that bullpen. And Lowe, Cameron Lowe, he's in Japan last season. Prior to this year, his last major league experience was all with Texas, 2004 to 8, and Duncan continues to scream at the home plate umpire.
Craig pulls it foul.
By the way, we were talking last week about Chris Duncan, and unfortunately, Chris just had season-ending hip surgery, and hopefully resting comfortably back home now. I know they sent a plane to pick him up out of Memphis, he and his mom, and his injuries. We finally thought he was going to be healthy, and now he has a serious hip injury and surgery.
Very, very light rain right now here at the ballpark. Lowe is 6'7", one of the tallest pitchers in baseball. Played at Cal State University Northridge. 20th round selection by the Rangers in 2002. .6'7", 240. Cameron Lowe. 2-2 pitch. Chop to the left side. McGee, low throw, and fielder the pick at first. One away here in the bottom of the 7th. Alan Craig is 0 for 3, and here's Felipe Lopez.
Big get well wishes to big Cardinal fan Howard Welsh. And Howard under the weather, and we wish you a speedy cover, Howard, and get back out to the ballpark.
Lopez 1 for 2 with a single into center, and also struck out. They're into third, 2-0. Arizona leading Cincinnati. Lopez has played for the Reds, Diamondbacks, Milwaukee, St. Louis. Bounced around a little bit.
Last 2 years, he's hit home 300. Silver Slugger Award winner, All-Star.
The 2-2 pitch. Weeks. Fielder. 2 outs. Brings in Molina, who is bounced into a 6-4-3 double play and also grounded out to short. 2 outs, nobody on here in the Cardinals half of the 7th.
Cardinals only 4 hits tonight, 2 of them by Brendan Bryant.
He's also made the best defensive play that we've seen here tonight too, Brendan.
Never had more than 1 base runner in an inning.
They changed the baseball following a ground ball.
How dare we play two pitches with the same ball. Al McClellan warming up for the Cardinals. Braddock, lefty, warming up for the Brewers.
I think most players would like to have the quote-unquote down year that Pujols is having now. That's now 87 RBIs, which puts him 6 in front of Howard for the league lead. He's tied with Adam Dunn for the league lead in home runs. And you look up, and Albert is hitting close to 320 now. Vados came into the play today at 322. He's got a legitimate shot to win the Triple Crown.
No doubt about it. A couple weeks ago, you're talking about Votto, but if there's anybody going to do it in the National League, in my mind, it's Albert.
Here's a 2-1 pitch.
And the toughest one right now, you'd have to say, is probably the batting net.
Yeah.
Currently is hitting 315.
Count of 2 balls, 2 strikes here on Yadier Molina. Casey McGee with it, and an easy inning for Lowe. We played 7 here at Busch Stadium, and it's 3-1 Milwaukee. Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By AT Mobility, find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Bank of America, Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. We're waiting to cheer about something. Cardinals with just 4 base hits. They've committed 2 errors, and they trail 3-1.
And most attractions going on in the stands is some gentleman sitting there with a bird on his arm. I mean, it just looks like a sparrow or something just landing, and everybody's taking pictures of it. That's how much action's been going offensively for the Cardinals.
Where do you see this gentleman?
It's about behind the Cardinal dugout, about halfway up. Right, looks like on an aisle, and everyone's looking there and got the old binoculars out and checked it out. And just casually sitting there with a bird on his shoulder.
Fielder to short. With time, Brendan Ryan makes the play. Casey McGee. $45,380 here tonight.
Be the envy of every team in baseball. Tuesday night crowd.
22nd sellout of the 2010 campaign. Here's Casey McGee. McGee with a home run tonight. What could be the difference before it's all said and done? A 2-run shot to center field. Really a line drive that just got over the wall, but he earned it. That's 400 feet out there.
He's hit the ball hard 3 times. First time he lined it off of Garcia's left hip. for an infield single, 2-run home run, and then one back over the mound that Garcia speared, threw him out.
A 2-0 pitch to McGee.
Old-fashioned hard ball right here, just pumping fastball after fastball.
Now when you throw 97 miles an hour like that last pitch, you can get away with some of those pitches you may leave up or over the middle of the plate.
Well, and they say at times that he has just, he has a sinking action on it. So to throw it that hard and get movement downward. Starter through the minor leagues, came up here a couple times, started, but he's found a home in that bullpen throwing this hard.
Off the end of the bat, Schumacher won't get there, and it was a late break, it looked like, from John Jay. Let's go our pitch-by-pitch feature presented by Chevrolet.
I just mentioned, fastball, it's down. 96, 97, another fastball here, doesn't get around on it. Fastball down there for a strike. Little slider, hangs up a little bit, didn't hit it hard, but effectively placed, and he's come up with his third hit of the night. A little surprising that that ball wasn't caught. Getting some new firewood there. Ooh.
Ball just exploded in on the hands there of Lorenzo Cain, who has a base hit tonight. Get into a fielder's choice and also flied out to center.
Very good kindling wood now.
You can hear that up here.
That. And well, that's sometimes sometimes that his Boggs' pitches don't have tremendous movement, and other times that ball just explodes. Runs in, down. Mitchell Boggs has learned an awful lot this season, and very positive as he's found a home as late inning reliever. I think going into the season, maybe Mott was a little ahead of him on the depth chart, but as the season has gone along, because Mitchell has a more effective breaking pitch than Mott. And Jason, starting to play catch. So he's coming back from the disabled list. I think that right now Boggs is past him.
The Cardinals, when they have their big three, Wainwright, Carpenter, Garcia, Redbirds are 48-25.
That's when you've got to win, when they start.
A liner over Brendan Ryan into left. Base hit for Lorenzo Cain.
As we mentioned, about a quarter to 4. Throwing a rooster, Dave Duncan. They were watching as long all the other starters with Suppan throwing a little simulated game. Said it's about 2 weeks since he had really thrown anything. Felt a little rusty. And it'll be interesting to see where and what happens with Jeff when he comes off the DL.
Alcides Escobar potentially walked back in the second. Kyle Loesch, when will his next start be with the fact that you do have these off days?
Well, normally, if you pitch on Sunday like he did his first return after 3 months, your time would come up on Friday without the off day on Monday and then again on Thursday. So in this next coming series, the earliest that you could see probably Loesch would be Sunday. Trevor Miller now warming up for Tony. It would be Westbrook and Carpenter the first 2 games in the Giants series, and then TBA to be announced for Sunday.
Could be a really big series for both those teams, the Giants and the Cardinals, when you talk about postseason play, not just trying to win their divisions, but also in the wild card. That's a broken bat. Good pick by Lopez. Fires to first, and they got him. A double play. Six innings, 3 runs. None of those were earned. A couple of errors for Felipe Lopez. That was Casey McGee going deep. 2-run shot, the difference in the game. And this is our Verizon Wireless game recap. And Pujols with home run number 397 and number 31 here in the 2010 campaign.
Aaron Miles is going to pinch hit here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That's for Boggs' spot, 8, and Brendan Ryan, who's 2 for 2 in this game. We turn it over to Skip. And Lowe, his second inning of work. He got 3 ground balls the first time around.
Running out of time here.
Yes, we are. But the big guys will at least get one more at bat. Hopefully it'll be this inning.
First pitch to Miles. Taken for a strike. Let's see where Miles took a peek down third, maybe thinking about laying down a bunt.
And all McGee has to do is come in and show him that, you know, hey, I'm one up from you. I'm anticipating that possibility of a bunt. But still, a guy like Aaron Miles, you know, he kind of punches the ball around and you shorten up, cut down the range of that third baseman, going to his left or right.
1-1 pitch to Miles. Last thing that Lowe wants to do is walk anybody and bring the tying run to the plate.
Their closer is warming up. He's a good one. And recently, because of the problems they've had, they've been making him go a lot, you know, more than one inning.
2-2.
Away.
One of the most dramatic home runs this year was Nick Stabenow off of Trevor Hoffman earlier this season at Milwaukee. Except for the loss on Sunday, did Hoffman in 2/3 of an inning. Lead-off base hit for Miles. Tying run comes to the plate.
Miles just amazing. You know, he just put that Cardinal uniform on him. Knows his manager's got a lot of confidence. Now, after what happened over the weekend, you ask him, breaking ball coming through, just pulls it through the hole on the right side, and Aaron Miles is just amazing wearing the Cardinal uniform. Can't play for anybody else, but he sure can't play for Tony.
Ryan is 2 for 2, pair of singles. Also made a dazzling play at shortstop tonight. First pitch taken for a strike. They just pound that outside corner on Brendan Ryan, don't they?
You kind of know, you know, when you talk about balance, and there he's almost falling over the plate, getting a look at a pitch he's not even offering that. Drawn awfully deep out there in left, big gap out in left center.
High chopper to short. Tough to turn 2. Weeks to first. Not in time. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced, retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. Schumacher is 0 for 2. Walked his first time up. Grounded to second. Also flied out to left. There goes Brendan Ryan. Hit and run was on. Base hit. Ryan on his way to third base.
Talked about it a little earlier when Schumacher was up, how defensively we did not agree with their alignment. He is so good at hitting the ball the opposite field. So the hit and run, and he just guides and throws that ball out over the third baseman's head down the left field line. And now it'll be a double switch. Chris Dickerson, who was involved in the Edmonds trade, is going out to what looks like center field. And Mock going to bring in his closer, Axford. So the Cardinals have something going here. They have runners at first and third. They're trailed by 2. John Jay coming up. We'll be back after this. back in the third inning. Cardinals got their run on a home run, the 31st of the year by Pujols. John Axford, he is their closer, 7-1, 17 saves and 19 opportunities. That's 17, the most ever by a Milwaukee Brewer rookie. He was recalled on May 15th from Nashville, and he's done quite a job. 5 of his saves are more than 1 inning. He did pick up the win, the 7th win on Saturday night in Colorado, going 2 innings. And John Jay, Cardinal rookie sensation, he is 0 for 3 in the night. Axford really throws very hard, and then he's got, because he throws so hard, he's got a very good slider that gets a lot of hitters swinging at that pitch out of the strike zone.
You just like his facial hair. You like that look.
That's it, huh? Well, he has established himself as one of the better closers, and that's saying something when you have the all-time save leader down there in the bullpen, Trevor Hoffman. And I'm sure that was a tough call for Ken Maka, but you got to go with the hot hand, don't you?
Absolutely. Runners at first and third. John Jay. We're in the 8th. He represents the go-ahead run. On deck, Albert Pujols. Gets away. A runner score. Makes it 3-2. Wild pitch, 3-2.
See how much guts Ken Maka has. His first base open, and not here with John Jay, but with Albert on deck. And here he just overthrows the breaking ball, bounces way up in front. That's really tough when it bounces so far up in front. And Brendan Ryan comes across with the Cardinals' second run. Schumacher goes into scoring position. He's out at second.
One and 2 on John Jay. You would have to think, Al, and with first base open, you can't let Pujols beat you with the way he's swinging the bat. If Jay doesn't come through.
I just go back to the old school where you just got to challenge everybody.
And people will tell you don't put the go-ahead or winning run on base.
But we have seen a lot of those unwritten rules thrown out in today's baseball. And you're not just talking about any hitter when you're talking about Albert Pujols. First thing you go over in a meeting, you say, don't let Albert beat me. But sometimes you have to pitch to him.
And a called third strike on John Jay.
It's 3 strikeouts tonight. Well, we'll find out. Good pitch. 2 strikes. You got to protect the plate. And Ken Maka, old school, but new school. Put him on.
If this would backfire, you see Pujols, the most intentional walks, this would be number 27. Then most people would say, you know what? This is the one where you'd say, this makes sense. Oh, look at that.
Well, you still have a very good hitter and a guy that has been the recipient of a lot of walks himself and understands these situations. as a competitor, you just want to kind of sit there and say, okay, I want this opportunity to show you I can retire him. And you use that extra adrenaline to make sure you do if you elect to have that option. And Maka took it away from him. And remember, we are in the 8th inning, Dan, and there's many times, and Rick Peterson, the pitching coach, would come out and talk to him, his rookie right-hander. But a lot of times when you're in such a tight situation like this, dramatic situation, even if you escape it, you go relax on that dugout bench, and you many times will pitch yourself into trouble the next inning trying to manufacture that same adrenaline. All intents and purposes, this is a ball game right here.
Yeah. 2 outs, 2 on. 3-2 Milwaukee. Holiday this evening fly to left. He also flied out to deep right and grounded out to third. Another pitch in the dirt and a fine block there.
Now replace that ball because it bounced in the dirt. Our friends at Rawlings love pitchers that either throw a lot of ground balls or throw balls in the dirt. See the way he throws. I mean, he's got that delivery where he really arches the back, but throws right over the top with that fastball and breaking ball, and throws so hard to where you get that split second to make that decision, and hard to hold up once you start to commit your swing.
Two-0 pitch. Holiday, high chopper to short, force play at second, and the threat is over. 3-2 as we head to the ninth. There, but Holiday bounced to short and a fielder's choice. So 3-2, Milwaukee with the lead as we head to the top of the ninth.
Kyle McClellan, who's been outstanding in the second half, And a little bit deceptive. We showed a graphic earlier about first half, second half. He had a very good ERA the first half, but it was a little over 2. And in the second half, he's 1.32 in his ERA, under 2 for the season. Some of his best baseball is pitched right here in his hometown. So McClellan comes in. He's batting the second spot. Miles stays in the game, plays second, and Schumacher goes to center.
LaCroix hits one out of play. Hey, if you look at the body of work by Kyle McClellan here in 2010, very good year.
No doubt about it. And you could look at what this third year he's pitched in the big leagues. Had the Tommy John, bypassed really AAA, and came up here, and he's done an excellent job all 3 years. He established himself as one of the better setup guys around the league. Last couple of years, gone to spring training with a chance to be the 5th starter. And hadn't anything to diminish that. Just too valuable where he is.
With that pitch. Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live with Jim Hayes and Rick Horton coming up after the ball game. I hope you stay with us. You're a little surprised after the Cincinnati series that it just didn't carry over to Chicago, and it hasn't carried over to tonight.
Well, it did Friday night. Played a good spirited ball game, but then we talk about, you're only as good as your next, momentum's only as good as your next starting pitcher. And Chris Carpenter, who's been brilliant, had one of his few shaky outings on Saturday. And then Kyle Loesch, coming off the disabled list, had his problems. And he tried a spirited rally to come back, but fell short. But that's, the troublesome signs that you see with this ball club is, and you just don't see the consistency.
Nasty stuff here from Kyle.
Dickerson, who was acquired in the Jim Edmonds trade, and he looked silly on a curveball.
Redbirds looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth. We'll have Craig, Lopez, and Molina.
About how great the numbers are when the Cardinals' big 3 start. Carpenter lost Saturday. Garcia's he's on the negative side of this score, and you just have to take advantage of those guys. Now it's not quite as desperate now that you've got Westbrook, who all 3 of his starts has been quality starts, and finally won his first game. Had a couple no decisions his first 2 starts.
Brendan Ryan deep in the hole, shows off the arm. Another fine play from the Cardinals shortstop, who's had a very good night. Craig, Lopez, Molina coming up, bottom of the ninth. home run. Ricky Weeks, a couple of walks and a run scored. Braun 0 for 4. Molina 0 for 3. And we just saw the very good work of Kyle McClellan with a couple of strikeouts in his lone inning of work.
Maybe we can put a W behind Kyle McClellan's name.
Boy, yeah, we have said this time and again this year. As Pujols and Holiday go, this team goes, and this is good to see. Colby Rasmus pinch hitting.
And Colby's done a nice job, 5 for 9 with 4 RBIs as a pinch hitter. And here's what I was talking about. After such a dramatic entrance for the closer to get through the 8th inning, now you kind of go sit in that dugout, and can you keep that adrenaline flow, or do you have to get yourself in trouble to recharge the battery and get back to that where you were in dramatic pitching form? Many times that closer that comes in before the 9th inning escapes that, sits down, and really has trouble. May get out of it, but have a little trouble.
Colby strained his right calf, scoring from second on a hit by Skip Schumacher on Sunday against the Cubs. He feels he'll be out, including tonight, at least 4 days.
Well, he's not.
So here he is. Rasmus said injury on Sunday might be in part from foul ball off his right shin the day before. 2-2. A 2-2 pitch to Colby Rasmus. Rasmus hits it high in the air out to center. That pitch at 96 miles an hour. And the first out here in the bottom of the ninth. The all-important first out. Lino Lopez would love to atone for the errors he's committed here tonight, no doubt.
Because of the errors, there's 3 unearned runs scored against Garcia.
And strike one on Felipe, who is single to center. One ball, one strike. The next to the Cardinal third baseman. 1-2, trying to catch up with that high-octane fastball. Tough to do. 96 on that last pitch.
Dan, he throws so many pitches down in the zone, so all of a sudden you get one up in the zone, and it's almost automatic you're going to chase it because you see it. It's high level, but you can't catch up to it, especially when it's up out of the strike zone.
Check swing, and Lopez strikes out.
It's a good breaking ball. You can't, once you start it, you commit.
Final hope is Molina. Let's turn to our Budweiser player of the game, Dave Bush. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. And our Budweiser player of the game. Really, Bush had been roughed up last 3 starts prior to tonight. 5 1/3, 8 hits, 6 innings, 7 hits. He went 5 in 1 game, gave up 10 hits. But the Cardinals only got 1 run against him. This whole week stacked with opponents that have beaten the Cardinals: Colorado, Milwaukee, San Francisco.
Down by 1, but it seems like a much greater deficit.
Good cut by Molina. Yachty tonight is grounded out 3 times, and that's in the bottom of the 5th now. Updated Arizona with a 2-0 lead. Trying to extend the ball game to Aaron Miles.
Sunday that Cairo got the 2-run home run and a 2-0 win for Cincinnati. He's had a very, very good year for the Reds. A guy that almost quit in spring training.
The 2-1. Get out of play. Axford is from Canada. Signed as a free agent back in 2008. Selected by Seattle. Did not sign. Selected by Cincinnati. Didn't sign. And he was with the Yankees for just a brief time. 2-2 to Molina. Shortstop Escobar with it. Settles and throws. And Milwaukee will look for a sweep tomorrow afternoon here on Fox Sports Midwest. Will come your way at 12:30 with the pregame show. Brewers take game 1, 3-2.